Old dogs are learning new tricks. Gold Sheet is the country's oldest sports betting newsletter dating back to 1957, and for the first time, they're offering MLB top selections at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. Gold Sheet began posting their iconic LTS plays at WagerTalk and Sports Memo in October 2021, producing 118 units of profit during this current basketball season and 69 units of profit last football season. Join Gold Sheet for their daily best bets on the diamond until the All-Star break for just $249. That's 9 weeks of detailed baseball analysis and best bets for under $30 a week. No coupon is needed. The price is already discounted, but act fast as the price goes back Sunday at midnight.
Welcome, everybody, to WagerTalk Today, the best damn sports betting show on the planet. Teddy covers with me, like always, every day, and we've got Steve Merril joining us right off the top. He's going to talk Braves and Red Sox, Warriors and Grizz. Bryan Leonard coming on with 2 hockey games. He's going to look at the Pittsburgh Rangers game and the Dallas Stars versus Calgary Flames, and we're going to end the show with Adam Trigger, who's going to look at the Phillies and Mariners and the Marlins and D-backs. Teddy covers. I went 2-2 yesterday, but more importantly, for me personally, I went to the hockey game last night, the Leaf game, down 2-0 in the first period, pulled it out 4-3. Was one of the most exciting freaking things I've ever been involved with in my life. It was unbelievable. How are you, my friend? How did you do last night?
Yeah, live sports can be a whole lot of fun, Prez, can't they? In Vegas, one thing, I haven't been to a Raiders game yet. One of these days we'll get there. But the live sports is something that I do less and less of as you handicap more and more, So it's one of those deals where you kind of miss it every once in a while. So I'm glad you had a good time at the Leafs game last night. I sucked last night. I hated everything about last night. Post game, you always do a post-mortem. And post-mortem, I was on the 76ers. Okay. And that game was over. 18-10, that game was over in the first quarter. And it was, it felt over and it was over. And in my post-mortem, I went back and looked at the quotes that I was looking at from the Sixers. I read them all wrong. I interpreted them all wrong. Sixers were done from the opening tip. I misinterpreted. I made a terrible read on Miami's ability to hit 3-pointers back at home and Spoelstra's ability to adjust, and ended up with a game that you didn't need to watch the fourth quarter in, which goes back to the basic mantra we talk about in the NBA playoffs all the time, Prez. And it's something that, especially as the playoffs progress, especially as we get into game 5, 6, and 7s of these series, when a team is done, they're done. And Philly showed a lot of done last night, even off tying the series back in Philadelphia. Prez?
Teddy, Luke Edinger just writes in the chat room, Prez, I played Andrew's 5% play yesterday, and all 3 of the Sports Memo plays, we sell every Tuesday, 3 plays at Sports Memo for $5. All 4 of them won. He put them in a parlay, won that as well. He had a great night. And you know what, Luke? I was just about to tell everyone, we swept the board on the $2 Tuesday. All 4 guys won 4-0. Those, thank you for putting that into the chat group. Perfect timing. Shout out and congratulations to Andrew McGinnis and all the guys over at Sports Memo who won as well. Teddy, man, we have the Odd Couple promo going up, and you're going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it. You're going to talk about it.
All I'm going to say is I got spanked last night. I'm not intending to get spanked again today. I'll put it that way. And Prez, what'd you do? You split out last night?
Yeah,
no harm, no foul, no crisis.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it was disappointing. I went 1-1 in hockey and 1-1 in baseball, and yeah, I mean, there was a moment where I thought either the Phillies or Edmonton was going to maybe pull me out one of those victories, and well, that didn't happen. But yeah, 2-2. What can you do? But dude, I got a 5% play up in hockey tonight. Everybody, and I mean everybody, has been following my 5% plays. So guys, my 5% play is $35. Like, you're better off buying the Odd Couple promo for $59. Teddy and I, all access, 3 days, $59, way more effective use of your money. Teddy, real quick before we get into anything, we spoke about this on a wager on Puck Time today. I don't know what's going on the screen, but we're back. You ever hedge bets?
There are two situations where I will hedge, and only two. One is when you're looking at a real long shot and you want to lock in something, whether they win or lose. When you got a 10 to 1, a 20 to 1.
Is that a future bet? Yeah.
Yes, on a future bet. Okay. Then it's absolutely willing, absolutely reasonable to hedge off of that and lock in something. The other time I'm going to hedge is if the original bet that I liked, I don't like it so much anymore. If you're talking about, or in game, when you talk about it for a particular game that you're in, yeah, sometimes you'll see, you'll be able to get the best of the number. You'll be able to have a middle working in your direction. And as long as you have to like the hedge bet, you can't hedge just to hedge. But if you're like, yeah, this is a good bet, absolutely, I'll make the hedge bet.
Yeah, so I want to say something quickly about hedging. Before that, Lauren Williams, yes, my Rangers pick was garbage last night, except the Rangers didn't play last night. And so, yeah, maybe they did.
Then it was garbage the night before.
Yeah, it was the night before. Yeah, so whatever. And yes, it was garbage, except it was a free pick. And what do you want from me, man? I'm on a 9-2, 47 and 18 NHL run. Come on, Lauren. Be nice. Be nice. Teddy, in regards to hedging, we spoke about this on Puck Time. It's a fascinating topic. I never hedge a single wager ever. So if I'm getting plus 7.5 in a football game and it drops down to 4 because of an injury, I am not going to come back and take the 4 and hope it hits 5, 6, or 7.
That's not a hedge.
What do you call that?
That's true. That's trying for a middle. That's a whole different opportunity. That's a whole different betting thing.
So I never will do that ever, 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 ever. The only time to hedge a bet is when what Teddy was saying. If you're sitting with a big futures dog, Carmine's sitting with Real Madrid, 18-1 to win Championship League, I'm hedging those. But on a whole, I don't hedge. And another trick that I use, and I don't know if you use this, Teddy, is I keep my in-game betting account separate from my actual betting account. So I don't merge them. My in-game betting is done over here. My regular betting is done over here. Do you do the same thing, or are you betting it all out of the same account?
I'm betting it all out of multiple accounts because I'm always looking for the best of the number. When I'm in game, I'm not looking at one book. I'm looking at multiple books. So no, I don't do that. Yeah.
Teddy covers Lawrence Presman. Let's bring in Stephen Merril. Swept last night on a freaking monster run, Steve. You sent it to us today, 9-1 in your last 6 days. Congratulations, man. You're seeing it well. You want to add to anything we talked about so far? Yep. Yes, exactly.
So like Teddy said, you have to make sure you like the new bet. But I think there's nothing wrong with at least locking up your initial investment. And I call that an emotional hedge. That's something you guys didn't touch on. Just so you know, if that 50-1 long shot barely misses out, you don't kick yourself. You still maybe walk away with a little something, hedge it down to 40-1, lock up that other 10-1 on the other side.
So with the...
Hold on. Someone's muted. We got... Okay. Sorry, Schmidt, John, and Chuck. I'm told Steve is all good. Sorry, Teddy. Go ahead.
Yeah, Steve is just fine. So last thing about hedging, Steve, and really, I think that it's important to make one last point. That has to do with bankroll. All right. If you're someone with a limited bankroll, it makes more sense to hedge and lock in some profit. If you're someone with a bigger bankroll, you can take some of these shots, and if they hit, you'll make a nice score. But if they don't, you don't need that. It helps to have a little extra, or whatever it is that you're going to get off the hedge bet. But in my mind, the size of your bankroll definitely has something to do with how often you're going to hedge. Smaller bankrolls should be hedging more often because it's a smaller bankroll. They need to protect it. Agree? Disagree?
Yeah, and I once again go back to, you got to keep the emotional side of things in check too, because it's human nature, whether it's the financial markets or the sports markets. People could say they try to have a system, but everybody has emotion. Everyone goes on tilt at some point, on bad beats or tough losses. And I once again think when you have a 50-1 long shot, for example, hedge a little bit of it just from the emotional side of it, just so you feel like you're walking away with something if it doesn't come through, even though maybe the true odds are 3-1 at that point, and you got 50-1. I still would hedge a little for that reason. And as far as the middles, real quick, on a game bet, normally if you lock in a good number, you're locking that in because it's tremendous value. And then if you buy back, try to catch the middle, once again, you're basically taking a 50-50 proposition now in the new line. So I very rarely recommend doing that unless, as you said, Teddy, you no longer like something about that play, or more importantly, maybe you think it's an over adjustment and you like the other side at the new price and you truly think it's going to land in the middle. That would be the only time to do it. But then you do it proportionally, right? Because you still have more value probably at the original price. So money management's the bottom line, whether it's hedging, betting on a daily basis. It's all numbers and money management in the long run.
Telvy says over half Prez as a sandwich for lunch is a lock. Telvy, you're going to lose that bet. No sandwich. You'll have to wait till the end of the show to hear about my lunch. Also, one of the guys wants to know about my thoughts on crypto. I believe crypto is going to go down this for the next little while. But as a man who's holding a lot of Bitcoin and Ethereum, I'm not going to try to figure it out. I'm not going to try to day trade my crypto. I'm holding and I'm waiting. Steve, do you have anything to add on the crypto market right now? Because obviously we're seeing a major move. I mean, we've lost probably $10,000.
I'm pulling it up right now in front of me here. I've got a strong opinion on this. The trend has been down now for weeks. My trend following methods made a lot of money on this downtrend, but I'm telling you, Prez, just from a fundamental aspect, I think this is a pretty good time to be getting in. I think 30, I've told you this different times on the show, I think 30,000 is the long-term floor for Bitcoin. I think a lot of the recreational money has gotten flooded out with the market being down in general the last few weeks. It's been kind of correlated with the stock market going down. Maybe it goes to 25, maybe it goes to 20, maybe it goes to 28, but it's at 30 now for a few days. I think the risk reward is extremely good over the next couple of years, where I think there's maybe a 5 or 10,000 downside. There's still a 50 or 80,000 upside potentially. Yeah, I think it's a terrible time to put it this way. It's a terrible time to sell if you're taking a long-term approach. You've missed the downtrend. I've made money on it, but long-term, I think now we're getting near the floor. Bitcoin 30,000 is a really good resistance floor for long-term.
Yeah, no, and I'm with you. And I was just going to say that as well. I think we are going to see another 5,000 drop over the next little while. But long-term wise, I think we're actually in a buying market over the next little while. That's my opinion. And Steve's. And both of us play heavily inside of the crypto market.
And then the legal people are telling me, once again, we're not financial advisors. This is our personal opinions. We're day traders and long-term swing traders, right? But yeah, I think it's a great. I think if you've missed out on that boom for Bitcoin, honestly, I think you're going to look back on this in a couple of years and be like, that 30,000 is when I should have gotten back in.
Yeah, Steve, I was racking my brains because I had a story to tell, and you mentioned the word swing, and I remember now the story I wanted to tell. Real quick, there's an app called USwing, and it tells you how far
you told the story already.
Oh, I did.
You told it already.
Anyway, told that.
Let's talk about some games. Quarter after.
Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Anderson versus Evaldi. Atlanta versus Boston. Atlanta is minus 122 to 125. The total is 8. Steve, how do we bet this?
Yeah, I wish I could have swapped out one of my baseball here for Bitcoin. I would have loved to talk about that, Prez. I didn't even think about it because that is an investment thing we both talk about a lot here on the show. Look, I swapped out my original baseball game because I got a strong best bet going tonight in one of the other nighttime games for my personal clients. So we're going to look at my free play for the day, and that's actually the Red Sox here as a dog. A little bit of money's coming on Boston here. Also some money on the over. I would agree with the Red Sox money. I would also agree with the over money. Red Sox offense has been very inconsistent this season, but they have put up now 20 hits and 11 runs the last 2 games, including 9 runs on 11 hits last night. So I'm going to take a flyer and think that's maybe the breakout here for this Red Sox offense that's underachieved a bit. And Atlanta has definitely underachieved this season as well. Defending world champs, just 14-17 on the season. Their expected one loss, 14-17. They've been outscored by almost half a run per game this season. So it's pretty much where it should be as far as I'm concerned with these records. And I think we'll take the underdog value here in a game that probably goes down to the wire. Atlanta's offense has put up 9 runs in 2 of their last 5 games, but they've put up 3 or less in 3 of those other 4. So it's kind of been feast or famine. I do think both teams hit the ball tonight. I'll lean over and I'll lean towards the underdog price with the Red Sox as well.
So one thing Boston has had a hard time doing this year is stringing together victories. Each of their last 6 wins following the win they lost the next game, I think they're 2-8 off a win for the full season. Red Sox obviously won yesterday, had a big lead, cruise throughout. Do you worry at all about Boston's inability to string wins together, or is that just early season randomness that we don't expect to carry forward?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, I think it's more the fact they're just not winning, Teddy. I think, what are they, like 3-8 straight up the last 11? So obviously when you lose 8 out of 11 times, or actually 8 out of 10 times until last night, you're probably not going to have any back-to-back wins. So I think it's more just that they've been in bad current form. I think there's a little bit of value with them now because of that. And, both teams haven't hit the ball as well as they should, but Atlanta's now had single-digit hits for 10 straight games. They have not managed double-digit hits since the end of April. And I just think, once again, that might have been the buy sign last night with the Red Sox getting 9 runs and 11 hits. And with an underdog price, we don't even have to be right 50% of the time, and we'll make money in this scenario. So a Red Sox and over would be the way I'd play it.
Steve Merril, awesome stuff. We love having you on the show, bro. Golden State, Memphis, NBA tonight. Golden State -4 on the road. 219 is the total. Where are we going in this game?
Yeah, I'm going to keep this one brief for a couple reasons. First of all, we're running up on the clock here, but also second, Teddy and I will be back at 4:15 Eastern live here on NBA Tip-Off to really dig in depth on this game with Joe Ranieri and company. So I would say check out the NBA Tip-Off show 4:15 every day here live at Eastern time and archived, of course, on WagerTalk TV. 2 games tonight. We'll talk about Milwaukee, Boston. Teddy's got that coming up in big game breakdown in a moment. I'm going to look at the late game here, Warriors and Grizzlies. Look, we talk about, situational handicap in the NBA playoffs, modified zigzag, whatever you want to call it. Memphis was actually in a pretty good spot. I didn't use anything with Morant out in Game 4 the other night, but in hindsight, that was a good spot for Memphis. They're coming off the 30-point blowout. By the way, I had a strong 5% best bet on Golden State in Game 3, so that blowout did not surprise me. Stayed off them in Game 4 because I did think it was a decent bounce-back spot for the Grizzlies. But without Morant, I was treading lightly. They continue to play well all season without their superstar. They led for the first 47-plus minutes of the game the other night, yet still lost. That wasn't a fluke, though, because Golden State is the better team here, and you just wonder if that was their chance, obviously, to tie it up 2-2. Now it's 3-1. I think Golden State has that killer instinct. They're not going to overlook a chance to finish this series. I just wonder what Memphis has left in the tank. I think as far as the total in this game, it's been a drastic adjustment down. It's around 219, 218.5. We saw total as high as 227.5 back in Game 2, and 2 of the 3 have gone under since that over in Game 1. I think it's an overreaction, and if anything, I think Memphis plays a little looser at home, and this is a team that has shot 43% or worse in all 4 games in this series, and they've still gone over in 2 of the 4. They're giving up 115 points in the series. That's been their problem. I think the over is worth a look at 219, get a little bit of adjusted line value.
So looking at the over between the Grizzlies and the Warriors tonight. Now, I want to ask you this about the side. Even though you like the over, I do want to ask you a side question here because we've seen Golden State play mediocre basketball. I'm not going to say mediocre. They're 2-2 straight up, 1-3 ATS. Their 4 previous road games this postseason. The only game they won and covered was that Game 3 at Denver, where they shot 55% from the floor and 45% from 3, and still were life and death to win the game in that contest. So it's not like we've seen the Warriors play their best basketball on the highway. From a side standpoint, does that concern you here, or is this just a Grizzlies team without Morant, with Bane banged up? Are they done?
Yeah, it's hard to imagine, especially after leading the first 47 minutes of the game on the road as a 9.5-point dog, and then letting that one get away. We talked about handicappers going on tilt, the emotional side of it. I think it's very tough for Memphis here. Now, I wouldn't be surprised to maybe see them come out with a little bit of energy in the first quarter. We often see teams do that, with their backs against the wall at home. But I will point out that Golden State blew the chance to sweep Denver, as you're kind of referencing to, Teddy. They were up 3-0, should have finished that series off in 4, and they lost that game at Denver as a 4.5-point road favorite, about the same price. Very high score at 126-121. They allowed the Nuggets to shoot 56% in that game. So that's another reason why, Golden State probably finishes off the series, but you could hedge that a little bit with the over, because if they falter, it'll probably be a higher scoring game.
Steve Merril, everyone. Guys, Steve is on a 9-1 all sports run his past 6 days. What do you have up for our clients?
Yeah, strong NBA best bet tonight, and also a strong baseball best bet. 2-for-1 special for Wednesday night at WagerTalk.com on a mere 9-1, 90% run the past 6 days. 3-0 sweep yesterday, 13-4 for the month. Check out my baseball and basketball best bets. 2-for-1 combos. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com.
Awesome stuff, Steve. Guys, 12:35 p.m. game between Toronto Blue Jays and the Yankees. Toronto plus 120. I'm making a personal bet on that. Just wanted to let everyone know I was going to put it in the daily presidential address, but the game would have started by then. Teddy Covers, get ready, brother. Your big game breakdown. Bryan Leonard, Adam Trigger, and the daily presidential address. Dan, cue it up.
Stop. Don't buy that picks package or all access. Wait, what? Yep. Don't click add to cart until you check out our new deals page at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo, where you can find all the latest offers, promotions, and coupons available all in one place. These deals are updated daily and can be found by clicking deals in the nav at WagerTalk or Sports Memo, going to wt.buzz/deals, or scanning the QR code on your screen.
It is time for today's big game breakdown. Let's talk some NBA for Wednesday night. How about the Celtics and the Bucks? A crucial Game 5 showdown in Boston. Right now, looking at the Wager Talk live odds screen, I'm seeing the Celtics minus 5.5. We have seen some under money this morning. 214s bet down to 213.5 as we speak. Not a ton of under money, but we have seen some. This has been a true zigzag series so far. The loser of the last game has won the next time out in each of the 3 games since game 1. Obviously, game 1, there's no zigzag to play because no one's lost a game in this series yet. But the loser of the previous game has won next time out in every game since, and that included, of course, Boston exploding with a come-from-behind win at Milwaukee on Monday. Al Horford taking advantage of the extra minutes without Robert Williams in the lineup and having the game of his life. And of course, Boston shoots 50% from the floor. Milwaukee just 41. Celtics hit 14 threes. The Bucks only hit 9. Drew Holiday has a rough shooting game, 5 of 22. But there were a couple things that stood out to me from the box score worth noting. The Bucks still won the glass by double-digit margin. And the Bucks only turned the ball over 7 times. Boston's defense did not flummox them all that much. And when you read these quotes, what we're seeing on the Milwaukee side, or what we're reading on the Milwaukee side, what we're hearing on the Milwaukee side is very similar to what we heard from the Boston side prior to game 4. Al Horford talked about, we felt at the end of game 3, we were in a position to win the game and we didn't. I was just really locked in for game 4. Which at the moment, what we needed to do as a group, just come out and going to do whatever it took. It was one of those type of nights. That's what it was for Boston in game 4. I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's for like that for Milwaukee in game 5. We don't know yet if Robert Williams is going to play for the Celtics. He obviously has been a difference maker. They didn't necessarily need him with Horford's monster game 4 game, but they'll miss him if he's not there. I have my concerns about the Bucks matchup full game wise. I think the best way to go here is first half for Milwaukee. You get a full +3 right now with the Bucks first half. I think Milwaukee comes out and plays, and I'm not asking them to win the game, not even asking them to win the first half. I'm asking them to hang tough in the first half. I think the Bucks will do that. Give Milwaukee +3 first half There's your big game breakdown. Back to you, Mr. Prez.
Teddy, Chris Lawrence writes, yesterday Prez said the Leafs Lightning series is a zigzag series and all home teams won every game. LOL, what an idiot. Chris, when you say what an idiot, I assume you're referring to yourself. Firstly, a zigzag series has nothing to do with home teams. Literally, every second game was won by the other team. The Leafs won the first, Tampa won the second, the Leafs won the third, Tampa won the fourth, the Leafs won the fifth. That is the definition of a zigzag series. Secondly, you idiot, no, the home team did not win every game. Tampa Bay won game 2 in Toronto, and Toronto won game 3 in Tampa. Bryan Leonard joining us, everyone. NHL hockey talk, my favorite thing in the world. Bryan, how are you, brother? You are a good man.
I am a good man? Well, I was just
you're
about
one of
to
my
criticize you, but now that you said I was a good man, I better not say anything. But I just wanted to congratulate you on Toronto. I think it'll go 7, but I think you've got a really good chance to advance this year. We'll see how it goes. But they played some good hockey all season long, and a lot of people were not giving them much credit in this series, even though it was like a 50-50 split coming in. But I've been pretty impressed by Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll tell you, down 2-0, showed an incredible amount of moxie to come back, gets up 3-2, and then it's got to be a giant emotional letdown when Tampa Bay tied it up, and only to come back again. Bryan, I forgot to mention this on Puck Time last night, but did you see the fourth goal? Did Mitch Marner literally pass the puck to Matthews off of a goaltending pad rebound? Like, was that actually, if that was planned, that might have been the greatest goal ever scored in hockey.
I didn't see it. It's also the middle of baseball season. I'm switching between a lot of games, so I didn't see that. But a couple talented guys. You never know.
Yeah, unbelievable stuff. Well, you got a call on the Rangers Pittsburgh tonight, 3-1 Pittsburgh. I didn't see that coming, Bryan, at all. Now we have the Rangers at home -130. Every single game in this series has gone over the total. How are you betting it?
If you'd have told me coming into the series that all the games were going to go over the total, I would have told you that I wanted Pittsburgh, and that's the way it's been worked out, which is why Pittsburgh's up 3-1. I like the Rangers here, but I'm not going to use them in the full game. You got a team playing at home. Steve just talked about a team with their backs to the wall playing at home in the playoffs, and that's something we want to take advantage of. The problem is they've been outplayed by Pittsburgh. If you take a look at the expected goals on all strengths, Pittsburgh's got 62.5% expected goal percentage in this series. Another reason why I don't want the Rangers for the entire game is what happens if the Rangers, a physical team with a coach that's known for physicality, fall behind early in this game? What's going to happen? They're already down 3-1. They're going to start taking out some aggressions. And so I don't want that situation as the game goes on. The longer this game goes on, that the Rangers are losing, there's more of a chance for them to lose by a margin. I like the Rangers in the first period here. I think they come out and play a strong game. They know they've got to have this victory. Pittsburgh, as good as they've been playing, they've been doing most of that on 5-on-5. You don't want to put Pittsburgh in the penalty box. I think the Rangers come out with a very clean first period, and I think they get that victory. You get -140 straight up. If it ends up in a tie, there's no bet. But -140 in the first period for the Rangers, I think, is a lot more attractive than the -130, -135 for the full game, based on, once again, if they fall behind early, that they're not going to be able to come back and they'll get real physical. And we see that a lot with the last game of a series when a team is about to go out. They're going out fighting, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if that happened with the Rangers here.
To this day, Bryan, the single best sign I've ever seen a fan hold at a sporting event is the guy when the Rangers won the Cup with the sign, "Now I Can Die in Peace," 1940, 1994. Looks like it might be a while before the Rangers get their next one. Let's talk about the late game in the NHL tonight. Calgary and Dallas. Much like Prez's rant earlier, this game too has been zigzagging back and forth. Dallas, big home chalk tonight, -210, -220. I'm seeing -230s out there on the WagerTalk live odds screen. Total 5.5, juice to the under. What do we do with the Stars and the Flames?
Well, first of all, you don't look to see a lot of goals. They played 4 games, scored 14 goals total. Actually, on 5-on-5, there's only been 8 goals scored in this series in 4 games. So I tells you how tight that is. Situation for me, I did use Calgary last time out. They played in Dallas, and that's a rarity because I've been playing the underdog for Dallas most of the time in this series with a lot of success. And I think Calgary probably wins this game, but how can you lay 210, 220 with a team that's proven that they match up really well with you here? Dallas is a team, I said it before the playoffs started, they're built for the playoffs. They came into the playoffs, I believe they're the only team with a negative scoring range on the season. They were actually down in net points, net goals on the season coming in, and Calgary is one of those teams that they should match up well against. Well, they have. We're sitting in a situation right now where it's 2-2. Both teams have scored the same amount of goals. And why is Calgary such a big favorite in this game? It always takes balls to play an underdog in this price range, 180, 190, something in that range here with Dallas. That's the only way I could take a look at this. Calgary has not proven to me that they're any better than Dallas is. Now, you take a look at the expected goals. Calgary's in a situation where they've got 58-42 basically on expected goals. But if you look at Dallas on the season, they're one of those teams that can win when they're not expected to get the goals. And they're a team who doesn't take a lot of shots. They take quality shots. Where you find a team like, Vegas was one of those teams this year where they put the puck on the goal a lot this year. They just didn't have the luck in that regard. So I think Dallas is worth a nice shot here at the plus 80 range on this. And why would you not play them based on the way this series has gone? Would not surprise me at all if they pull the upset here, and then Calgary comes out the next game on the road is a road favorite. Maybe I come back on them there, but right now Dallas would be the only way I'd look in this game.
Bryan Leonard, everyone, and Bry is at 67% win rate in these NHL playoffs, so he is seeing it right. He likes the Rangers first period and the Dallas Stars tonight. Good luck, my friend. What do you have to promote?
Well, Teddy and Steve were just talking NBA. I do have an NBA play tonight, and that's 4-star. And 4s and 5s have been really good in 2022, although I did have a 5 loser yesterday on the under in the Arizona-Miami game in baseball. But 4s have been really good. The NBA playoffs have been good. Hockey playoffs have been good. Actually winning in baseball, although I did lose yesterday. 4% play up for clients today in basketball action. I also have a 3-star MLB play up for longtime customers. Get them both right now over on the site for only $39.
Guys are asking me to apologize to Chris because the chat room has gone crazy. Chris, I love you. Your last name is Lawrence. It's the best name ever. Hugs and kisses. You could be my little spoon if you want. You are a good man. Please. Flex just for Chris. Okay. Teddy covers. I'm watching the show Taboo. I watched that porno when I was in the 90s. I remember that very vividly. But now I'm watching a new show called Taboo with Tom Hardy. It is spectacular. I have 2 episodes left. I'm going to end them this afternoon while working out. Today is Arms Day, so it's going to be a long one. I'll get both episodes done. Adam Trigger joining us. And you hit the gym, bro? You a worker outer?
Yeah. I work out, like, I don't lift a ton. I do more of like the CrossFit stuff just to stay in shape. Prez, I can't go. I have zero accountability for myself at the gym. I can't go. The reason I have to go to CrossFit, I can't go work out by myself. I'll just get frustrated and leave. I need someone to tell me what to do for an hour. So that works.
I get it. I get it, dude. I mean, I used to be the same, but once you've been doing it for 10 years or so, I mean, my body just literally craves working out. And I really like watching shows while I do it. I find it to be sort of my own time. I don't want somebody yelling at me. I got a woman and 2 daughters and a mother. I got enough estrogen in my life. I don't need anyone yelling at me at the gym. Anyway, Phillies Mariners. What do you like in this game? I was on Philly yesterday and I lost probably a day late. I'm guessing you like Philly.
Well, Prez, I don't dislike Philly here, but in general right now, I think there's going to be good spots to play overs in Major League Baseball over the course of the next week or two because of just the run of unders we saw the first month of the season. And this is a spot where I'm starting to see some of these totals, 7.5, 8. You know, that used to be reserved for a really solid starting pitching matchup. You would see a 7.5 or you would see an 8 total. And now you're starting to get 7.5 and 8 totals with guys like, you know, Bailey Falter against Logan Gilbert. And I just think some of these totals are low. And this is one where I think you're probably going to see some runs. So Philly's got quite an issue with the pitching. You know, Eflin and Zach Wheeler are both still out with COVID. So they're going to have to throw Bailey Falter here in like a spot start type, sort of bullpen type game. And they don't even know if they've got a starter for tomorrow yet. You know, they could get Wheeler or Eflin back, but they're not, you know, entirely sure. And this is a Phillies team that has one of the worst bullpens in the league and just had to play a doubleheader on Sunday. You know, Falter's only going to throw 60 to 65 pitches because he hasn't, that's really his max right now. So I think you're going to see a pretty heavy dose of the Phillies bullpen here, which hasn't been good, which might sort of jumpstart this Mariners offense, which hasn't been very good. On the other side, the Philly offense has actually been great the last week or so. You know, the collapse that Philly had on last Thursday against the Mets made the headlines, but they still scored 7 runs and rattled off 12 hits in that game. On Sunday, they got to Max Scherzer, handed him his first loss in, I think, 24 or 25 starts, breaking a huge streak. And then the Phillies, you know, in the opener of this series, put up 9 runs. So their offense is kind of rolling. And they go up against Logan Gilbert, who I love this kid. He's got great stuff, but the walks have been an issue. 3 walks or more in his past 3 starts, and he hasn't really been getting past the 5th inning. You know, he kind of fizzles out in the 5th, doesn't really go 6. So you're going to get into a Mariners bullpen that's been a little bit banged up, which has been one of the Mariners' issues. They've just been banged up, and they've struggled because of it. But that total looks very low. I think we could see quite a few Phillies relievers here, and I don't think it's far-fetched to think there's going to be 8 runs and potentially plenty more in this game.
So you talked about the Mariners' offensive woes. And again, they had 11 hits last night. 6 of them didn't get out of the infield. And the Phillies gave them every run they had with their fielding miscues. I hope you didn't watch that game, Prez, because if you did, you wouldn't have enjoyed it at all if you had Philadelphia, because they literally just gave the game away. But Seattle didn't hit again. And Seattle's not hitting anyone. Now we have a young lefty making his debut. We always love the young lefties first time around. Mariners can't hit. On the other side, Gilbert's the best pitcher, the AL pitcher of the month. You know, the guy's giving up 5 earned runs in 6 starts. So bad offense, good starter, but we're still looking over. Is this because we're looking for games to go over the total right now? Or is this, you know, Phillies offense is good enough? Just get on board and start riding some Phillies overs right here.
So first off, I think there's some underlying numbers with Gilbert that suggest that he's not going to be the pitcher of the month this next month. I don't think you can get away with walking 3 or 4 guys in a start and continue to not give up runs. Like I said, I think I've come on WagerTalk Today this season and talked about how much I like Gilbert's potential. He's got excellent stuff, but you can't walk guys in the big leagues. Even the worst teams will make you pay for walks. And to just speak to the other question, the Phillies defense, that's not like a one-off thing. Their defense is not great. And they've got some real liabilities when if they've got Castellanos or Schwarber in the field, they're both atrocious defensively. So, the Phillies have been, sort of hindering their starting pitchers with poor defense for a while now. And the Mariners, they did hit the ball a little bit last night. I mean, 11 hits is, even though some of them were maybe cheap hits, they still started to get guys on base.
Yeah.
Listen, they still started to get guys on base, and they're going to go up against a guy, even if he's good. He's going to be out after the fourth inning. Girardi already said he's not going to go past 60 pitches. And Phillies, bullpen, while they're remade this year, is still managed to be in the bottom 5 in ERA. They're just not good. And the Mariners, they at home, they seem to find a way to cash scoring opportunities in. It haven't been great of late, but I still think there's a little bit of positive regression for the Mariners, especially when they play at home. And really, the Phillies right now, the way they're hitting, they could put 6 or 7 up on their own. I just think there's too many ways this gets to 8, and it's probably a good
Adam
bet.
Trigger. Awesome. Great stuff. Great response to Teddy. Guys, hit that like button, please. Also, make sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't. And you know what YouTube really likes, Teddy? They like when people subscribe to our channel while listening to the show. That is factored into their algorithm. So guys listening to the show, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. It's honestly the best sports betting channel on the planet. I mean, nobody is even close. I mean, every sport, so many unbelievable analysts, world-class hosts, minus me. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, please. Add Alcantara on the mound against Kelly. Man, it's basically a pick'em game with a total of 8. I lean on the under here in this one. I'm curious how you're betting it.
So again, this is kind of the same thing. I think the total is low, and I think there's underlying reasons to believe that we're gonna see some runs here. We'll start with last night, 12 runs on 20 hits in the game last night. Arizona they're 10-3 in their last 13 games, and they've been hitting. If you look at their last 9 games, 5 runs per game, and they're not an offense that typically gets, respect from the books. Last year, they just gave up a million runs, and a lot of their games went over. This year, they haven't been as good of an over bet because the pitching has been solid. But in this spot, once again, you only need to get to 8 runs here. Merrill Kelly gets the ball. He just threw a season high 106 pitches. So I have to wonder if he makes it. He just went 7-2 or 8 2/3 innings through 106 pitches. So we could see a little bit of a shorter outing from him here. And he's backed by a Diamondbacks bullpen that is still bottom 5 in the league, 4.56 ERA. Alcantara. If you look at his numbers, his splits, he's better at home than he is on the road. That was certainly the case last year. And he's given up 8 earned runs his last 3 starts. He's given up 5 hits or more in his last 3 starts. So really, since he threw an 8-inning gem against the Cardinals, he's been knocked around a little bit. And I went back and looked at his numbers last year on the road, 4.01 ERA, and his batting average against 247 on the road, as opposed to 198 at Lone Depot Park in Miami. So you talk about Chase Field. If you listen to players talk about this ballpark, anyone that's played there, sort of consensus that Chase Field has the best batter's eye that you're going to find. Almost every player will say Chase Field, Coors Field are the 2 best parks to hit in terms of seeing the baseball. So I always sort of look at Chase Field as a hitter's park. Once again, all we need is 8 runs. That means 4-4 is an automatic win. And with extra innings the way they are, Dave Koken is the one that says you can't bet full game unders anymore because of the extra innings just blows you up. Well, if you're going to look at a full game over, especially when it's down around these key numbers 7.5, 8, you get to 4-4, or even if you get to 3-3, you still have a really good chance to win your bet. once again, I just think there's too many ways that both these teams could score 4 runs. So I think the over's worth a look at 8.
Adam Trigger, you're rolling right now. Why don't you tell people what you have to promote over at WagerTalk.com?
So I'm on a nice little 3-game winning streak in MLB. Actually having a great baseball season overall, both KBO and Major League Baseball. And I've hit 57% of my Major League of my baseball plays since the beginning of the 2020 season. Today I have a 5% play in Major League Baseball that goes tonight. And I'll give you the Korean baseball for free. So just check back at my page. I'm going to post that for free later. But 5% are in MLB that goes tonight. Spot I really like a lot.
And it's definitely worth noting that
Adam
Chase
Trigger.
Field roof is open today, which is always good for over bettors. The ball does tend to carry better when the roof is open than when it's closed. Now, Lawrence, as you asked me to do 30 seconds ago,
I messed
let me
up,
introduce you for the
Teddy.
presidential address because, folks, it's that time for Lawrence to strut his stuff.
All right, guys, got 2 bets that I'm making tonight for you all, but I do want to mention I have a 5% play up at WagerTalk right now. It's in hockey. I'm really excited about it. We've all been rolling with my 5% plays for 3 years now, Teddy. But guys, my 5% play is $35. You're better off buying the Odd Couple promo that Teddy and I have up on our pages. It's on the right side down below. It's $59, all access for 3 days. That's half price. So rather than spending the $35 on my 5% play, get that Odd Couple promotion and get it pronto. I got 2 games for you guys. I'm going to start with the Rangers on the money line tonight. Nobody expected Pittsburgh to be up 3-1 at this point. The Rangers are a good team. We went with the Rangers 2 nights ago based on the fact that Shesterkin let in not 7 goals. He was pulled, but he let in a lot of goals. I thought he'd bounce back and have a strong night. He did not. I do believe he will tonight. I think the Rangers come out flying. I like the Rangers in the first period, and I like the Rangers on the game as well. I also like Barkov to score at plus 130. Barkov to score at plus 130. Yes, Revenant, if you buy the Odd Couple package twice or 3 times, the next package goes after. They don't go simultaneously. So load up on that Odd Couple package. That's it for me. I'm having chicken corn soup with a Montreal bagel, toasted and buttered. Teddy, take us home.
A bagel meaning a sandwich, which is what he said he didn't have earlier. That's going to wrap it for the end. So the sandwich wins, by the way, that prop bet, the yes sandwich. He's having a bagel. Bagel's a sandwich. It's going to wrap it for the Wednesday edition of Wager Talk Today. We'll do it again tomorrow. Same time, same channel. I want to thank Adam Trigger, Steve Merril, and Bryan Leonard for joining us. And I want to thank you guys for taking time out of your busy day to spend with us here at Wager Talk Today. Between now and tomorrow's show, you guys know what to do. Enjoy the games and good luck.
Stop. Don't buy that picks package or all access. Wait, what? Yep. Don't click add to cart until you check out our new deals page at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo, where you can find all the latest offers, promotions, and coupons available all in one place. These deals are updated daily and can be found by clicking deals in the nav at WagerTalk or Sports Memo, going to wt.buzz/deals, or scanning the QR code on your screen.